Though the House of Representatives have passed a bill criminalizing estimated billing, cries of payment for electricity not consumed still echo through the country.
But it appears even electricity distribution companies have tales of woes to tell too. According to the discourse, energy theft is on a large scale amongst consumers, an act the power providers described as an attack on their revenues. But some persons say some Nigerians resorted to this as a way of sidestepping estimated billing until they are provided with prepaid meters. Latest data from the National Bureau of Statistics shows that only 1.6 million electricity consumers in Nigeria use prepaid meters. Joining me now for this is Ademola Samuel, National Coordinator, All Electricity Consumers Protection Forum. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast. We have over 200 million Nigerians and only 1.6 million is said to be using meters. And this is part of, metering is part of the cardinal principle of the discourse right from the beginning. What does it show? Is it that the discourse do not have the capacity to handle this, or there wasn't a clear-cut principle for discourse to handle this right from the beginning?
I think from the beginning, like I said earlier, the fact remains that even the privatization is what I called in my latest prepared presentation of paper, that is hogwash. Hogwash in the sense that by the provisions of the Bureau of Public Enterprise as at then, led by Mrs. Onogorua, there are 4 things that are supposed to be in place before you can even venture to be given that license. Number 1, the 2 cardinal part of it is 1, financial capability, 2, technical know-how. These 2 were jettisons in the process of privatization.
So should we go back to the drawing board for this agreement?
That's what we are pushing for from our own hand.
But you know how challenging it could be when
There's
it comes
no challenge in the sense that,
board.
you see, the contract they enter into is time bound, in which in recent time now there is a licensing contract which has to run between 1 to 10 years, and there is what we call performance contract. That performance contract is what we are talking about, reviewing of it, which eventually may lead to the fact that many of them may lose their license in the process. For example, if you look at Yola, I think in 2015 or 2016, they declare force majeure and the government take it over. And I can tell you by virtues of the statistics within my purview, Yola is the highest distributions of prepaid meter with 79% already made.
So why is it a challenge in this end?
Well, I think, like I said, when you give something to some people that does not have what it takes to, or when you turn something to family affairs, as there was during the last government, that is exactly what you're going to see. They give it to their cronies and friends. I can tell you some processes, some things that I know.
So bridging this gap now, I think that is where the meter asset providers have tried to come in.
I can tell you, yes, coming in, but I can also tell you that these ideas have been mooted before. That's why they call cap me. Cap me means that a consumer will pay to the discos, and the disco within the process give the consumer what they call it, prepaid meter. But you know that while that lasted, many consumers paid to the discos and the disco refuses, and money was not returned up to today. Quote me.
So what then should consumers do? That is where your body comes in.
Exactly.
Now.
So the last on the capping issue was that the NEC give a directive that any consumer that has receipt of payment, because why that directive was given in the first instance, that regulatory directive was allowed to be, was that immediately you pay, and the disco has 60 days windows for you to be metered. Once you are not metered, you are not supposed to pay, and they are not supposed to disconnect you. It's just the same thing that they give directive as at March 2017, that any MD customer that are not metered are not to be paid, and are not to pay, and not to be disconnected. But all these things are being flouted by the discos because of the fact that the NEC are just a toothless bulldog who can bark, they cannot bite.
So what is next to do, in your opinion, moving forward?
Yes, like I've said, what we are saying is that as soon as the performance contract expire, which is this year.
But consumers cannot wait.
Yes, the consumer cannot wait. Let's see how the workabilities of this meter asset provider. But from our own hand,
all right,
briefly, is that even now that we've discovered that giving estimated billing is illegal, we are going to court to challenge that.
Adeola Samuel, thank you for your time on TVC Breakfast.